What's up, guys? Welcome back to another free play video for Thursday Night Football, Week 6 of the NFL, 49ers versus Seahawks. We're going to get into this game and talk about my play on it. If you're new to this channel or just discovering it, my name is Jeff. This is Lock and Cash Sports. We do everything sports betting, and we're going to talk about this awesome football game. Before I get into it, if you haven't checked out the Week 6 review yet, just tap here. I'll pop up the link. This is the video where I go through every game. I talk a little bit about this one. We're going to go a little bit deeper today, but I talk about this one. I talk about every game on the slate. It's a bit longer video. I give you leans on each game, any official bets that I have played, market movement, situational angles, things like that. So go check that out if you're interested. Now for this game tonight, both of these teams come off of a Sunday where they had very similar results because they both lost outright at home as 7-point favorites, as crazy as that sounds. And I think at this point in the season, guys, like this is a short week, a divisional game. Both teams just had very disappointing losses. After the first few weeks of the season, where I think you can play heavily on matchups and kind of like situational spots that go back to last year, like teams who were really bad last year, and if they're big dogs in week 1 or week 2, like there's a lot of good stuff like that. As we get to the middle chunk of the season, the middle weeks, it's going to be more so about just individual matchups and more so about situational angles, which is my favorite way to bet. And I think the situational spot here is pretty telling on one side. The 49ers came into this season as the much higher rated team. Obviously, the McCaffrey injury changed things for them a little bit, and now they've got some injuries on defense. Honestly, should they have won that game on Sunday against Arizona? Of course. If they have a kicker and if Jordan Mason doesn't fumble deep in the opponent territory, they win the game, right? But you can't deal with ifs. The reality is they lost. But to me, the other side is much uglier, right? Seattle started 3-0 this season. Who did they beat? The Broncos at home. I know the Broncos look good, but Seattle was at home and as Bo Nix's first start as an NFL quarterback. So they beat the Broncos at home. Their second game was that game against the Patriots. You know how bad the Patriots are, and they took them to overtime. and then the Seahawks winning against the Patriots. Their third win was the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. Okay, Tua injured. We know how bad Thompson is. So those 3 wins to me in my week 4 preview video that I have posted on here, I said those are fluky wins. I would fade them against Detroit. So Detroit wins, covers. Seattle offense looked good though. Then they come back home. Look at what happened to them when they faced a defensive front that could actually get pressure on them and somebody that could actually take advantage of that bad defense they had. Like the Giants dominated that game in the trenches. Dominated. Got whatever they wanted without Neighbors, without Singletary. Insane result in that game. But that game to me was very telling of what the Seahawks really are. I thought they were not a good team coming into the season, below average. I have them power rated slightly below average, but they were winning games 3-0 and everybody was back on the Seahawks train. And I just felt that this was going to eventually, like this was the team that I really thought that they were going to be before the season started. Now you get a divisional opponent on the road that is desperate for a win, has the advantage over you again, just like the Giants did in the trenches up front, in terms of pass rush, in terms of stopping the run. The big thing for me here in this game is how San Francisco is going to perform against the pass, because you know the Seahawks are going to throw and throw often. So that's the one thing that I'm watching out for in this game. But I think everything else here lines up. You've the Niners have to exploit this matchup in terms of how bad Seattle's rush defense is. It's one of the worst in the NFL, along with Cincinnati. They're letting everybody run the ball on them. You have to run the ball here. You cannot be scared off by the fumble. Jordan Mason needs to get a lot of carries early and often. And the Niners have, really the Niners here are sitting at 2-3. This is must win. This is such a huge game for them. And the other thing is, so the matchup favors you. It's such a huge must win game. On top of all of this, you've got some major positive regression on the way for San Francisco. If you look at all of their advanced metrics, they have really struggled in the red zone. Yes, part of that is not having McCaffrey to punch the ball in once you get close. But the other part of that is just natural, luck. It's going to swing one way and swing the other way. They're getting to the red zone a lot, which is a good sign. It's just a matter of when those convert, right? When is it going to turn? They have way too much skill position talent for it not to turn. If this was a different type of team that's getting into the red zone a lot, I might have a different view on it. But when you have Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, even Jordan Mason's really good. We have all these guys out there and Purdy at quarterback, it is going to turn. The red zone opportunities are going to start turning into touchdowns instead of field goals or turnovers. It's going to happen. They went 1 for 7 in the red zone against Arizona. If they get into the red zone against Seattle, they will, just like Detroit did on Monday Night Football last week, they will turn those into touchdowns. Another thing that I think is interesting is you have some nice systems on the 49ers. There's road divisional favorites that have been pretty good the last few years. But one of the ones that I really like is road favorites after losing at home as a touchdown favorite. So you're a favorite at home by 7 or more. You lose that game outright. Then you hit the road against a divisional opponent and you're also the favorite. These teams are 23, 12, and 2 against the spread over the last 20 years. That's 65.7%. So a pretty nice situational spot, I think, for San Francisco. This spot also came up one time this year. It was the Lions back in week 3. So the Lions lost outright -7 at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you remember that game. And the next week they went on the road as a favorite. I forget who they were playing, and they win the game. So this happened to the Lions in week 3. And this is obviously active on San Francisco this week. So my pick in this game, 49ers -3. So full disclosure, I know I don't want to give you a stale line. I gave out -3 on, I think it was Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday to subscribers. I like to try to get some bets in early if I see the line's going to move. I'm seeing mostly 3.5s now. Listen, am I still comfortable playing this at 3.5? Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking -3, I don't think it's going to push, right? I think they're going to win by 4 or more. So I'm still comfortable playing this at -3.5. And I even see that, the market's kind of ping-ponging back and forth. Like the plus 3.5s are now juiced, -115, -118. So this might get back down to 3 but before we get to, the game tomorrow. So, but for me, San Francisco laying the points in this game, I think the spot is excellent for them. I think the motivation is going to be at an all-time high. They're going to get over their red zone issues, and they're going to probably win this game by a touchdown or more. All right, that's my pick. Thursday Night Football. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are going to tail, and I'll drop the deals down there as always. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Let's get it.